Hello everyone, I am Sajina, and this is your Re-watchable webinar about relationship advice in a time of COVID. I hope you're all doing well. So I'm going to talk you through how to survive really, how to be in your body and how to remember that we've got this body that needs to move in order to earn money to keep this body going. This webinar is also about well-being, and you may have seen over the past few weeks our agents gathering data from lots of people. If you, whilst you're watching this, would like to multitask and fill in your data yourself and tell us how you're doing, we would very much appreciate that. You can just shine your phone at that. This QR code there, I'll leave that. So we've been collecting data because data is important. It's in the digital age, data is our lifeblood. Although this webinar now that you're in, this is about relationship advice. It's about a different sort of data. So I'm just going to share with you full screen. So this is taken from a webinar that we ran a while ago. Just going to minimize this. There we go. So this is, as you can see, so our unique selling point here is that we will come to your offices and we will conduct the webinar directly from your VPN. So this is quite unique. It does mean that we need to have agents all over the place. So again, if you're interested in being an agent, I will tell you later how you can do that. So because this is it's an online webinar, but it does involve actual travel, you need to make sure that you have everything with you. So here we can see the agent setting up. We'll send you a checklist, cables, additional leads. You never know where you might need to go with your electricity or where you need to take it. You need speakers and a chili. You can see the chili is still in the suitcase there. Chili is quite important. So as I said, this is a webinar about relationships. It's a webinar about surviving. It's a webinar about surviving. Let me just turn this sound down a little bit. Surviving and thriving in the digital age. It's about learning the steps and dancing the dance. And whilst this is happening here, if you like, if you feel like having a little dance on the privacy of your own domain, you can. This will take you directly to our brilliant dancer, Peter, who demonstrates the choreography that we are about to see. And this was also sent out to the webinar participants of the webinar you're about to see beforehand, just to give you more of a flavour. So here again, the setting up, always allow enough time to set up, and can be a bit difficult with the nails sometimes with the cables, so just make sure you've got enough time to make sure that you're looking good. We will provide the outfit. So it's a webinar about surviving and thriving, learning the steps, dancing the dance, singing the song in order to survive and thrive when the party is a party only on screen, when we are screened. So here you can see now she's set everything up physically now, having to set up the digital side of things, and as we know, that always takes a bit more time than you think. So it's difficult to be late for a webinar. Punctuality has a different format in this situation. So whether your problem is that he only wanted you from your network, or there's too much border and not enough blur, I'm going to interrupt myself. You hear she's saying, I'm whispering in your ear. I'm whispering in your ear. Can you hear me? So I'm just pausing that. So these are the first guests who are arriving here. And I think our agent, she forgot to turn her camera on at the beginning. So that's why everyone is looking a little bit confused as they arrive. So it's quite nice to see how people also look at each other. So there are also decisions you need to make sometimes, actually, before the music starts. So there are usually rules. So people will book onto these webinars, and one of the stipulations was to have a look at the dance moves beforehand. The lip syncing we learnt in the session, which was the lip sync to the song, which is turn it off and turn me on, turn it off, with a dance move that goes like this. You'll see that you might be even practicing already from the QR code I just showed you. But you might find sometimes, I'll let you see a little bit of this. So there's anticipation. So with Zoom, I'm sure most of you are quite familiar with the medium now, with this delightful platform, but you have this marvelous feature called Pin Video, which can be quite good if you've been feeling like you haven't really had the frisson of eyeballs on your body. Recently, at least you can look. The other thing is you can use it as a device within the webinar. So in this case, we invited people. It wasn't that we were sneaking on them to pin the video without their consent. We told them, and then they performed. So this is one of the participants, who is called Bliss, a very blissful person, and did this performance. So it's quite good, really, when people get the dance move. It feels quite good. It's quite a lot of job satisfaction. So there were also verses that are part of this, that was part of it. We did lose the hard drive, sadly, so we had to rewrite, and that's also often happens, that file becomes corrupt and you can't use it anymore. But this is part of the script of the webinar, so one of the verses is, I want your flesh, I want your attention, I want your vocal cords dancing in my direction. So this is also what they were dancing to. So again, there are always quite a few decisions you need to make when you're giving a webinar. So there were, as I said, there were various stipulations. One was that people had the virtual background. And as you may have noticed, one of the individuals did not have that. And the other is that people will pay a certain fee to attend your webinar. And sometimes it may be that two people will arrive on that webinar rather than one, but they've only bought one ticket. So in that case, we give that decision to the, excuse me, to the agents as to whether or not, in this case, the agent made the decision to allow them to stay because they actually had learned the dance moves really well, so they were considered an asset to the group. This is the person without the virtual background. And the decision as to whether you keep that person in with the without the virtual background may be in the end just down to numbers. So if you're wanting a nice sense on your screen of enough people being in there and making geometrical shapes, then you may just need to keep them in there. So here you can see that they're really getting the vocals. Turn it off and turn me on. I'm just going to remind you of, if you want to be practicing this at home, here are the dance moves again. If you want to answer the questionnaire, there's that. So as you can see, this person in the middle was having a really good time. And sometimes unexpected things happen. So here, there was all this fruit that suddenly appeared on the set. Not just where the agent was, but as you can see, everywhere there was an aubergine eggplant. I'm just stopping for a commercial break here. We have mugs. This mug, on one side, it's two sides. It might look the same, but it's actually different. On this side, it says, I want your data. And on the other side, it says, I want your facts. And one of these mugs, it can be yours. There is a QR code. There we go, data collection. You will find not only mugs, but also t-shirts. You will also find a stimulatingly sexy, biodegradable phone case with the similar logo on it. And we also have this, which may look just like a black mug, but it's actually magic. So when you pour a hot beverage inside it, the image will appear. So if you want to spice up your morning coffee, or your nighttime sleepy time tea, this might be the mug for you, or it could be a stimulatingly sexy stocking stuffer. Here is the data collection. We'll continue. So what we say really is that, whether your problem is that he only wanted you for your network, or there's too much border and not enough blur in your life, or too much emotion and not enough emoji, or you want to see yourself or someone else stand in a different light, a webinar by one of our agents could be just what you or your organization needs in these challenging times. Whether your organization is ready for its close-up, or waiting to sleep, or waiting to be paid, or waiting to be looked at, our agents will come to your offices and conduct a professional webinar about surviving and thriving from the intimate proximity of your very own VPN. Oh, I've lost the video. Data collection, questionnaire, and if you would like to become an agent, it's there. And I don't know where. So at this point, actually, we'll go back a bit here. So in this case, it was quite exciting for the agent. She reported that it was great because everybody kept dancing, even when the music had stopped. And in fact, the person without the virtual background really was an asset also in the end. So that brings us to the end of that footage. We're very grateful to everybody who allowed us to use that footage for this training video. And here you can see the agent packing up. So make sure that you get everything with you. In the meantime, I'm going to draw your attention to this. Vagina's scintillatingly, stimulatingly sexy seminar about relationship advice. It's a re-watchable webinar. You can see it at some point. Make sure you don't forget the chili. And again, if you'd like to give us your data, then we would most appreciate it, or whether you would like to buy some of our merch, and also whether you would like to tip us for this demonstration. There is another link. So what was nice also about that was really how well people were getting the lip syncing. And again, we do report quite a lot of job satisfaction. So it's usual that the offices that you're working in will probably be unpersoned. There will not be anyone there, so you're going to have to make sure you have your phone with you, and that you have a contact to call if you can't get in, because there's nothing worse than being stuck outside with webinar participants waiting. So you can see the agent leaving. Again, make sure your phone is charged. It can often be that in the excitement of giving the webinar that you may be out of juice. And we do encourage our agents, for the sake of the environment, to use the buses, the local bus network, and we can also help you. But because we give these webinars all over, we are looking for agents from all geolocations. So if you're interested in being one, please just pause this. If you would like to be an agent, please point your phone at this, where you will find an official script, which you can video record yourself with any device that you have, that is digital, and send it to us, and we might get back to you. So this is another example here of job satisfaction. This was sent to us to head office. By one of the participants. And it just showed that they had really taken to heart what had been taught. So we've been very pleased with the agent in this case for communicating so well.
Waiting to be looked at. Waiting to work. Waiting.
And what we like is that it shows initiative, that this student has been on the webinar and has gone home and has sought out additional Sagina wellness videos. And this is one about waiting, which may be a familiar situation to many of you.
Waiting for a boyfriend. Waiting for his lover. Waiting for the page to load.
So you have various choices of where you can go now. This is the end, actually, of the seminar now. I'm just going to draw your attention again to this, because no webinar can be made in isolation, just as nothing really can be created in isolation. Thank you for your attention. I hope this did broadcast this time, because we did one before that did not. And if you would like to be an agent, please let us know. There are all your choices, and we hope to see you at the next webinar. I am Sagina, and this was your webinar about relationship advice in a time of COVID. Thank you for your attention.